Yo, everybody. Gonna get started here in just a minute, making sure that the stream is up everywhere where it's supposed to be. Gonna get started here. What up, Matt? What up, Dylan? Will? What's going on, guys? Christine? Mr. Matt Beard? Yeah, guys, so we'll just go ahead and get right into it. So basically there's a lot of consistent questions that we're getting on a weekly basis, and so we decided to put together a schedule. So for those of you that don't know, if you're not in the Creative Financing with Pace Morby Facebook group, make sure to join the Facebook group, number one. Number two, we have a schedule. So Mondays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, we have Wholesale Hotline, where Jamil Damji, Brent Daniels, Pace Morby are answering questions about wholesale, how to get more wholesale deals, and how to really excel in today's market. Tuesdays, we have at 9 a.m. Mountain Time with Jeff Dwyer, our disposition and asset manager that is selling our deals and then also helping manage our fix and flips here in Arizona. Wednesdays, obviously, I'm on 9 a.m. Mountain Time talking about systems, marketing, answering your questions about marketing and systems, things that are working for us, challenges that we're having all across the board, guys. So Thursdays are going to be with Pace himself, 9 a.m. Mountain Time on Thursdays. Pace is going to be going live, deal or no deal, underwriting creative finance deals, answering your questions about creative finance deals. And then Friday, finally, we have Mr. Matt Beard. He's behind VAHub, VAHub.com. And he has one of the most successful operations I've seen that's pretty much entirely ran by virtual assistants. So he's going to be actually talking about, best practices of success with virtual assistants. And again, guys, all of this is free. We aren't making money from doing these lives. Our hopes are, if you're in Arizona or you're in Florida and you're getting deals, Renee, it is Pacific time, but Arizona is weird because we don't change time zones. So at some time this year, it's going to be different than Pacific. But as of right now, Pacific and Mountain Time are on the same time. So, our hopes in this show is, we're trying to buy more fix and flips in Arizona. We're also looking for more rentals, creatively to buy here in Arizona. We're also buying flips in Florida, and we can help sell deals in either of those markets. So, guys, if you have opportunities in those areas, we'd love to take a look at them. And then for those of you that may not know, check out roadmaprei.com. We actually put that together where basically we broke down what our whole business looks like from, because there's four parts of your real estate business when you're building your wholesale business. So these are the parts that you got to look at and that you're going to consistently work on over time. Like something that we're still continuously working on to this day. Like literally last night, I was working on some of the systems for our wholesale business, and we're a mature business, right? So the four things that you want to be working on consistently for your real estate business is, number one, you have marketing. Everything starts with marketing, because without any marketing and lead gen, there's no deals to have, right? So marketing, then you have acquisition. If you don't acquire those deals that you're marketing to, what's the point of marketing? The third part is the disposition. What are you going to do with those deals? Are you going to flip them? Are you going to hold them? Are you going to wholesale them? And then the last part, the fourth part, is your systems that hold it all together, that make all of it work. So those are the four parts. And at roadmaprei.com, if you haven't already checked it out, we break down the different systems that we use, how we use them, what the who the people are. What's it called? who the people are, what people are in those seats, working those areas of our business. And so we're going to continuously update it. So coming next month in that, we're going to be actually making some videos of how we actually use those systems. And we're going to be putting together our organizational chart so you can actually see like an actual graphic of what our organization looks like. Let's see here. Okay. So I got some questions here. Brandon, yes, sir. Of course. Yes, Dylan, we are. We have a team out there that we can do them with. So we are looking for those out there as well. Brandon, if you have deals, I'm going to send you who to reach out to if you have deals in Florida that could be flipped. So if you're in Florida or Arizona, please reach out to Jeff on our team. I'm posting his info here. Again, just in Florida and Arizona, AZ and Florida deals only. Okay, I'll pop this up here. So Arizona, Florida deals, reach out to Jeff. We do want to buy. We need. Okay. Let me try to get back up to some of these questions. Cities in Florida, Tony, Tampa, Orlando, those are the two cities that we could flip in. We can help sell deals in multiple areas in Florida, but as far as actually us flipping them, it's going to be in Orlando or in Tampa. Those are the two areas that we can do. Fort Lauderdale. Again, anything that you have, send to Jeff. I put his info down below. Let's see. Okay, let me go to some of these questions here. Listener. Will it go deep in regards to pay rates? I'm lost in how to pay my team. Sean, that's a great question. Let's talk about it. That is part of the systems of your business, the pay scale, the pay structure that you put together, right? So one of the things that I would recommend is if you guys haven't read the book, for those of you that are on this live, I'm going to share something with you guys here. I'm going to pull this up on Amazon. So you want to make sure that your business is healthy. So you don't want to be overpaying your team, but you also don't want to be underpaying. And how do you know if your business is healthy? And it starts with tracking and making sure that you're doing the right thing. So I'm going to share on my screen real fast with you guys a book that I highly recommend. It changed everything for mine and Pace's business. So if you guys can see this, so this book, Profit First, again, I don't make any money for promoting this. It's just something that's really changed the game for mine and Pace's business. So essentially what it talks about is like what percentages of your business should actually go towards different things. Like what percentage should be profit? What percentage should be owner pay? What percentage should be spent on the general operating expenses? How much should go to taxes? So this is a book that I would recommend. So obviously you can see I bought it a few months ago, the physical copy. I got the Audible last year, and it's been a game changer for us. So if you haven't bought this book, I would highly recommend that as you're getting going in your business. I think it'll help a lot. But just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. But Sean, so will it go deep into pay rates? So we'll go a little bit more into how we pay our team for sure. I don't know if we're going to go like super in depth on everything, but we'll go into like some of the percentages that we pay our team. Let's see what other questions we have. So guys, this is all about systems and marketing. So questions on this live that would be helpful for you is going to be about what systems, are you having issues with that you need help with or need direction on? What marketing are you looking at? Our expertise is in cold calling and text message marketing. That's how we get most of our deals. So that's what I would ask questions on during this live. Let's see. In depth in this roadmap. When I sign up, what exactly do I get? Hey, Daniel. Yeah. So if you've already signed up for the roadmap website, it's pretty basic right now. It essentially what our vision is for that is over the next year, because this is how me and Pace work together. I'm an integrator. He's the visionary. He has this idea. If only there is a way that we could just have like a picture of what our business looks like and, show people, what things that we use in our business day to day. And so that's what we put together in like version 1. So that's what it is right now. But eventually, like our vision for the end of the year with the roadmap is to continuously be updating it. So we're going to show in all of those 4 areas, again, marketing, acquisitions, dispositions, and systems, showing all those areas of our business. We're eventually going to add our scripts that we use for the, our acquisition team uses. We're going to include the scripts that our cold callers use in there. So we're going to be adding more and more things into that. So it's kind of basic right now. It's just like a general outline of like, all right, these are the systems we use. And this is, what our business, like how many acquisition people we have, how many disposition people, how many VAs that we have, what are those VAs doing? So that's really what it is right now, Daniel. But you'll want to stay tuned. I think we'll probably send out an email update to everyone that has access to it. Once we do another update, which will be at the beginning of next month. I'm working on it right now. So, okay. But let's see what questions we have. Awesome, dude, Sean. Okay, so here's the thing about that book, Profit First. It'll give you freaking anxiety because it pokes holes in everything you're doing. There was a lot of things that Pace and I were wasting money on in our business, and it just like it shines the light on your business, and it makes you feel some type of way for sure. But amazing book. We're super happy. We're super happy with what results we've been able to start implementing after utilizing that. All right, let's see here. Facebook user, what CRM do you use and recommend someone to build out a CRM? I would recommend Matt Beard. He's kind of the guy that he helped us with ours. So build out custom. I'll post his info on here for you guys as well. So I don't know. Obviously, it says Facebook user. I don't know what your name is. I apologize. But if you need a custom built Podio or like a basic build, he has a pretty solid one that's set up. So if you want Matt Beard's info, there's his number. Don't bug him unless you actually are wanting to get something set up. He probably hates that I put his phone number on these lives. All right, I'm going to go back to some of these other questions here. Good target sellers. Cool. Okay, here's a great question. Matt Reed says, what are some good target sellers to cold call? So it's really going to depend on your budget. And then also, what does your labor look like? Are you the one cold calling? Do you have a team of people cold calling? But what we do is we just cold call the niche list, right? So for example, we pull, and you guys can, take notes of this, but we pull pre-foreclosures. We pull tax delinquent. We pull vacant properties. We pull what else do we pull? Probate, inherited lists. We gather the code violation data here in Arizona as well. So we compile all of the niche data, and by niche data, basically what I mean by that is all of the data that is not just the general masses, because we'll text everything, but we cold call targeted, because you can text 1,000 people in an hour, but you can't cold call 1,000 people in an hour. on an average day, our cold callers are going to get, as far as calls made, doesn't mean answers, but calls made on an average day, a cold caller is going to get through in a 6 to 8 hour period, anywhere from 600 dials to 800 dials in that period of time. So you want to be, very specific in what you're actually calling in that time. So I always suggest calling niche lists specifically and putting the time and energy into putting those lists together. And obviously you'll get through some of those lists really quick. Like we just pulled an inherited list in Orlando, and there was like 150 records on it. Obviously that doesn't last very long, but we have multiple niche lists. So as we're calling through those other lists, we recycle them too. So meaning what's happening is we call through those 150 records. Say our cold caller gets a hold of 25 of them, finds out out of 25, 20 are not interested or bad information. 3 are, maybe call back or I don't know. And then 2 are actually, interested. Maybe 1 is interested out of those. Then we recycle the 100 or so that didn't actually answer the phone, and we're calling them again. So that's what we're doing with all of our niche lists. So hopefully that helps, Matt. So Sean, what is the process of texting and calling list? Do you text and call at the same time, or do you call one list and text another and keep rotating? So we do both at the same time. So what I tell people is you have to look at the demographics, right? So there's multiple types of people that you're marketing to. There's the younger demographic. Like for myself, for example, I'm 26. The people in my demographic, 20s, early 30s, most of the time will never answer a phone number on that they don't recognize. Like I know for a fact for myself anyways, I don't answer the phone unless I have the contact saved in my phone or I have a scheduled call with someone that I don't have their number saved. But I will text people back, if it's someone that, I've been having, if it's of interest to me, right? So that's what you have to look at, Sean, is if you have 100 records and 50 of those records are elderly, like 65 plus. And I don't really consider that elderly. 60s isn't really old, but 65 plus, sometimes, a lot of people aren't texting. And then you have, the younger demographic of, let's say 20s, 30s, 40s, right? And in those two demographics, there's more people texting that are in the younger demographic than the older demographic. So of the 50 people on your list that are older, you're going to have better results cold calling them than texting them, most likely. And then with the younger demographic, you're probably going to have more results texting versus cold calling. And then with mail too, right? If you're mailing to the older demographic, they're more responsive to mail than the younger demographic is. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I get my mail, I grab my stack of mail, I bring it in, I walk over to my trash can before I even come into my house, and then I throw away everything besides what is exactly what I'm looking for in there. I don't look at any mailers. I don't look at it. So that's what you have to look at. You have to think in the mindset of like, okay, what does the average consumer age do? So that's why we cold call and text the same list. We've honestly never had an issue with somebody with a lead, being in our system more than once and it being a problem. We have had them go in the system more than once, but it never was a problem. So I wouldn't overthink it. Text and cold call at the same time. I know that was a long-winded answer, but hopefully that helps, Sean. And if you guys aren't already texting, and you need a system to utilize for that, I would utilize Pace's code. $1, I think you get like 500 texts or something for it. So for $1, if you use the code batsleads.io/pace, for $1 you can text, do 500 texts. So it's pretty cool. He got that set up with the guys over at Batch. Okay. Cody, with my VA making 2,500 cold calls a week, what should I expect as far as lead flow and contracts per month? So because I'm an integrator, I have a really hard time giving you a general answer to that. Because what are those 2,500 cold calls to? Are those like a high equity absentee list, or are those pre-foreclosures, or what type of data is that? So that's going to, largely vary your numbers there. But once you're, and then it depends on your market as well. But once you have a VA that's dialed in and that has been able to, consistently just generate leads regardless of the list, I would, for every, I'm trying to think just based off of like a general answer. Basically, what we expect from RVAs that are calling, I go off more of like hours dialed, because 2,500 cold calls a week, that's probably 500 dials a day. Like, you should be getting anywhere from 1 to 3 leads a day from your cold caller. If they're dialing around 500 cold calls. So some days obviously are going to be better. You might get 4 or 5 leads in the day, and then another day you may only get 1. So, but per day, per cold caller, if they're dialing 6 hours a day and you're using good data and a good dialer, you should be getting anywhere from 2 to 3 leads a day from cold callers. If they're dialing 8 hours a day, I would say you should be getting a minimum at least 2 to 4 leads a day on that. So that's what I would say. And then it's just going to depend on your data. You're going to get better results calling the higher niche types of lists, like I was saying before, like pre-foreclosure, tax delinquent, things like that. So that's what I would say. Dylan, so when hiring a VA from VAHub from texting, how long does it take for them to get proficient, and how many texts can they handle a day? So per VA, let me see. I'll look at like what our VAs are doing per day. So I have each of our VAs sends 2,500 texts a day. That's what our VAs are doing, and using batch to do it. And really, it took like the new VAs that I hired with VAHub to basically handle all of our text conversations. It took them, sorry, I'm readjusting here, guys. It took them about, I would say about 2-3 weeks to fully get the conversations to where I wanted them to be. But when they first start, like, you have to do some auditing and like checking on their messages. Like we have a, what's it called? We have a CSM obviously with VAHub, and the CSM is doing some monitoring, but we like everyone's going to like their messages to be handled a little bit differently. So the way that we like them to be handled, it took them about 2-3 weeks, because what we shoot for with our text campaigns is we just want sellers that are raising their hand. So we just want our VA to identify that they're texting with somebody that wants to sell, and that they're texting with someone that has an actual motivation to sell. So that's what they're verifying for. Some people have them text and have a longer conversation, and the text, we don't have them ask like 100 different questions. We have them basically identify they want to sell, and then finding out that they want to sell, not that they're fishing for an offer. We don't consider that a lead from text. So it's going to depend on your process, Dylan, and what you consider leads. And so you'll have to do some readjusting. But overall, like with your VAs in general, this is what we do. What our company does. We have a client success manager that's monitoring and giving end of day reports and daily, tidbits of coaching and training to the VAs. And what I do to continuously educate our VAs, because I want them to be badasses. I want them to be great. So what I do is once a week, I'll spend about 15-20 minutes with each of our VAs. And I usually will do that on Mondays or Tuesdays. I'll do a 15-20 minute call, check-in. Hey, how are you doing? On a scale of 1 to 10 last week, how did you do? What can we do to make things better? What are your challenges? What are your struggles? What's stopping you if they aren't getting the lead count that I want them to be at? Where are you being held up? And then I'll give them some feedback myself. And then I'll do one 30 to 45 minute general like group training with all my VAs a week. And on that, I just do continuing education. Like I'll pick a topic. Like next week, my topic that I have is I'm going to be talking about pre-foreclosures. So in that whole conversation, I'm going to talk about What solutions does a homeowner have when they're in pre-foreclosure? Sell the house, rent the house, loan modification, borrow, get a private loan, refinance, like all the different options they could potentially have. And I explain those options so that I can make them more educated. Because the thing you have to realize is, just like yourself, a virtual assistant, they have to learn some of the terminology. I mean, like, you don't know all the terminology when you first started. You can't expect somebody else to. Like, and virtual assistants are not robots. Like, they get they basically get a general idea of what you're trying to accomplish, but the more you can educate them, the more it's going to help your business. So all in all, and the time that I spend on my VAs each week is probably about 3 hours of time that I'm dedicating to them. But the 3 hours is a massive return on our investment because they get better every week, and they're like freaking ninjas on the phone. And they're understanding. They understand more than some people that are newer in the wholesale business themselves. All right. Let's see. Daniel, is what software subscription based? Sorry, I must have missed your question. Oh, I'm not using. Did you record yesterday? What is today? Wednesday. If you go on Pace's YouTube channel, as far as for the stream that Jeff did of comping and asking people, questions on comping, you can go to Pace's YouTube channel and find the recording on there. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Keritan, the name of that book was Profit First. That was the name of that book. All right. Probably spend another 15 minutes, guys, and then my phone is blowing up, and I'll have to hop off here. All right, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with these questions here. What is up, guys? If these calls are helpful, please let us know. By growing our community, our goal with the Creative Finance Facebook group, I mean, we want to grow that group to 100,000 people, but the only way it's going to get there is by us continuously adding value to you guys. And if you guys are receiving value, all that we ask is that you invite your real estate investor friends, good people to the community, and then engage in the Facebook group. Help answer. If there's somebody new in the group and you know the answer to a question, help answer the questions. Or if you think that myself or Pace could help answer somebody's question, tag us in there. We try to do our best to go in there. I try to go in there in the mornings and then in the evening and answer as many questions as I can. And so sharing and growing the community helps us know that we're actually helping. Let's see what else. Sean, you just keep killing it with good questions. So polling niche list. So pre-foreclosure, depending on the state you're in and county, we get new pre-foreclosures daily in Arizona. So we poll new ones every day, Monday through Friday. The tax delinquents, those are only twice a year when those get updated. So I can't remember the months off the top of my head, but twice a year the tax delinquents get updated. And then the probates here in Arizona get updated daily as well at the county's office. So we have a VA that's going in and scraping all of the new data, and then we skip trace it. What are we using for text marketing? We are using batch leads. If you use the code PACE, for $1, you'll get 500 text messages. If you aren't already using batch, I would definitely recommend it. We used to use Roar, and then we switched over to batch at the beginning of this year. So Sean, we use PropStream, and then we use batch to pull our list. Those are the two primary providers that we're accessing our list from. How many times do you call a list? I mean, we're just recycling and pounding that list like continuously. So we're continuously, we are extracting, like, imagine the list is like a sponge filled with water. We're squeezing everything, every little bit out of the list that we can to pull deals from it. So we're continuously recalling people that haven't answered, and we're adding new data. That's how our process works, is we're adding new updated data into that list, and then the people that haven't answered, we're re-hitting them over and over and over again until we reach them. Awesome. Thanks, Renee. Appreciate it. Definitely, wish that I had someone helping me when I started. That's why me and Pace are so big on doing these things, is we didn't have all the resources to really know what to do right off the bat. And a lot of people were just super secretive on the things that they were doing. Obviously, like, some of the things that we're affiliated with, like Go Knock, right? Like, we're part owners of that. But the reason we put Go Knock together was because we know what it was like when we started. Guys, so here's a story for you. So when I started in wholesaling and I was transitioning out of being just a realtor, what I did was I drove for dollars. This is how I drove for dollars. And people talk about it's too hard now. When I drove for dollars, there was no apps to even freaking get the data accurately. So this was my day. I would wake up in the morning. I would find areas in town where homes are beat up and, dilapidated on the computer. I would look up different areas of town. Once I found those areas of town, I would map out where I was going to drive for the day. I would drive to that specific area of town, and I would, on a notepad like this, I would write down the addresses. I would be on my maps on my phone, on just like a maps app, and I would be like, okay, that's the address there, and I would physically be writing down the addresses of 25 to 30 addresses a day. In the afternoon, I would come home because I couldn't skip trace from my phone. And then I would sit there in front of my computer on Intellius.com, and I would search the address, and then I would sit there, hand dial each call. I would call each person. Hey, I drove by your property today. I just wanted to, see if you'd consider selling that property over there on 123 Main Street. Oh, no? Okay. All right, now I'm going to call the next 6 people that, half of those are going to be wrong numbers from Intellius, and hopefully I reach the owner of the property on this property. That's what I would do for every day, like literally Monday through Friday. And then I would door knock the people I couldn't reach on the phone on the weekends. That's what I did. And I didn't have a route planner. So I would, on like MapQuest, or a route planner, for Saturdays when I would go out and door knock, I would sit and do an actual, I would plan out a route, which would take me like an hour to put together the quickest route to hit all these properties. I'd go out and then I'd be hand knocking the people that didn't answer. I had just like notes in my phone, a notes app that I was putting in the notes of, okay, this person didn't answer. This person didn't answer. This person was interested. I got to follow up with them. I would come home. I would put the notes in my computer in an Excel sheet. And that's how I started wholesaling, guys. Like, so the reason why we put Go Knock together was because of that. I mean, think about how much time I freaking wasted. That's what I think about. I did that for my first month until I got my first deal. I got my first deal month 1 from doing that exact process. It was very cheap. Obviously, it wasn't expensive to do, but that's how I got my first deal, was door knocking and doing that, just hitting the ground. So guys, if you're in that position where you don't have a lot of money to spend, I would go to GoKnock.com. And right now there's a 14-day free trial to use it. But that's what I did to get my business going. So there's no excuse. That's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to eliminate all excuses. There's an app that you could find the pre-foreclosures, create a route, go and knock them. They don't answer. You could skip trace directly from the app, cold call them, get on the phone with them. If you don't get on the phone with them, you can leave notes in the app. And then if you want to set up like a custom mail campaign or a text campaign, you can set that up in the app too. I mean, that's what mine and Pace's goal is doing. Is obviously we're trying to grow our business. We're trying to grow everything that we're doing, but we're trying to shorten the learning curve. We're trying to shorten the process it is to get from no deals to, consistent deals. That's what we're trying to do. All right, I'm going to go to some of these other questions here. Matt knows, looking like a creep driving 2 miles per hour. Yeah, no, seriously. I remember there was actually a neighborhood in town that I'm not going to specify anything like that. But there is a particular neighborhood in town that I was driving through. And I was definitely a minority going into that particular neighborhood. And I was stopping and going, like, I would stop. I'm like, oh, that house looks beat up. And I'm like writing down the address. And like, then I was like driving. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many beat up houses in this neighborhood. And so I was like writing down all these addresses. And I actually had a guy come up to me and he's like, hey, can I help you? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm looking to buy a house in the neighborhood. I don't know if you know anyone selling. He's like, nah, man, like no one's selling in here. And I'm like, all right. So I left the neighborhood, but yeah, like I've been through, some of those, experiences, nothing crazy, but, you look like a creep sometimes, when you're sitting there taking notes of the houses. So funny. Yeah, I was a realtor. So I actually, long story short, I got into network marketing when I was 17, did that until I was 21. Built a really successful network marketing business, and then everything fell apart like 4 years in. So then I was at ground zero trying to figure out what to do. I wish I found wholesaling before becoming a realtor, but I went and got my real estate license because my mom had her license, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm a hard worker. I'll go get my real estate license. So I did that for the first couple of years. I would cold call. I cold called for sale by owners, expireds, canceled listings every morning, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until about 11 a.m. And then I was out, prospecting and doing appointments in the afternoon. That's what I did as a realtor. And, thought I was going to build a real estate team, hired an assistant, hired a couple agents to work under me. A year of that, and I hated my life. Because it's just it's just not for me being a realtor. I don't like dealing with clients, but, I found fix and flips and wholesaling, and it was like a whole nother world opened up to me. And I was like, I'm out of the traditional agent business. Don't call me to list your house. Call me if you want to sell it. So yeah, that's short story on that. And that's, where I transitioned out. I had my traditional agent business was like, we weren't, doing freaking 100 deals a month, but, we were doing 3, 4, 5, 6 plus deals on a monthly basis. And so we were doing well, but it sucked. So I didn't want to do that anymore. And that's a big part about, this business is, making sure that, you're working towards what you want. Money isn't everything. Working towards what's going to fulfill you and make you happy is more important than the money. So, and however you set up your wholesaling business, set it up in a way that's going to support you with the lifestyle that you want. And that's going to make you happy at the end of the day, because that's, even if you're making money, but you're unhappy, what's the point? Let's see. Go through some of these. I don't have the resources for lots of paid subscriptions yet. What's the one thing I need to get started? I would use GoKnock, honestly. I'm biased. I'm biased because I'm part of the ownership of GoKnock, right? So obviously I'm going to be biased. But look at Deal Machine and the features it has. Look at GoKnock and the features that it has. And then you make the educated decision on which one you think is going to give you better options. GoKnock has way more features on it. So I say GoKnock.com, try it for 2 weeks, get a trial for free. If you don't like it, cancel it. Go switch over to Deal Machine if you don't like it. So that's what I would say. And I'll always keep it real. Let's see. Gosh, there's a lot of questions coming in. Thanks, guys. It makes me happy to, help answer these questions. Hey, Tanya, this is a good question. When using a VA from VAHub, how are you tracking when you need to provide a new list for the VA? So a really healthy amount of records on a monthly basis for one VA, if they're calling full time, is going to be probably about 7,500 records for the month. You can get by with about 5,000 and you could recycle that list. But I would say if at all possible, get them a list of like 5,000 and then try to pepper in some of the niche lists, like add, 20 new pre-foreclosures, 20 new probate, 20 new tax delinquent or whatever the new lists that you can add in. But, adding in new lists, it's just going to help get up, more leads coming in for you. It's going to be better because the more you're recycling, you're diluting the list that you're cold calling, right? So your lead count's going to go down when you do it. You still can do it and you still should recycle it, but the more you can add more leads, the better. And honestly, what I tell most people is if you don't have, a couple $1,000s a month to be spending on your marketing, I wouldn't say right now is the best time to hire a VA, because it's not the VA that's going to cost that, but it's going to cost the VA. Plus you need quality data that you're adding on a consistent basis to get you the best results. So that's what I would say. Sean, that's so true. There's no secret list or magic pill. We're just consistent. We get deals from probate. We get deals from tax default. We get deals from absentee vacant properties. We get deals from high equity, owner occupied. Like we get deals from all the lists. So obviously, when you can focus in on the more likely to be higher paying lists, you're going to get, more deals, right? But at the end of the day, it's consistency and timing. That's what's going to get you deals. Matt Beard, too kind. Matt Beard, we helped him get into wholesale last year, and now he's freaking crushing it. I mean, the guy is, if I had to guess, is pacing now for, a 7-figure a year wholesale operation within 1 year of getting his wholesale business started. The guy has like 16 VAs working for him. It's insane, like freaking madman. And he's like, been the guy that spearheaded VAHub.com and then the, Podio system. The guy's an animal. Yeah, the door knock follow-up on the people that you can't reach is definitely helpful. So for sure. Marco went through the same thing. Rite of passage. It is like you got to go through the crap, right? To get to the results. No one had some easy path. Like obviously, if you have money starting off into the business, it's like great. Like you can get better results faster sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's your work ethic and how hungry you are. Let me go back to some of these. Yeah, and that's why I say barbaric, because that's how the methods that we were utilizing before, that's how they were. And there's so many great tools and systems now that you could have everything you need to be successful in this business, and you can be successful in any market now outside of yours, because I know some people they're in maybe a smaller market and they don't have as many people to reach out to. So that's what's great about technology now, is like you could start your wholesaling in any market. Lashawn, for website, which is better, Carrot or Wix? So we use Carrot just because they're easy. Like we don't really look at like our website as like this game-changing thing. We've had one seller, I could think of one seller and it was a property. The seller lived in another state and they inherited the property here in Chandler, Arizona, or Gilbert, Arizona. And they wanted to see our website. That's the only time we've ever had a seller that wanted to see our website. I would say investing more of your money into marketing and getting deals. And then if you have extra money, obviously, to where it's not going to be a stretch, then I would, get a Keritan. I would get a Keritan website. It's really easy to get set up. Their team can help you set them up too. I don't like web developing. I know I'm the integrator for Mind and Pace's business, but I'm not a web developer. I don't know how to do code and all that. So Keritan's simple. It's like fill in the blanks. Like here's, it's like an outline for you. So I like it. Let's see. How do you measure data accuracy when calling on your list? Are you basing it off how many people answer the phone, regardless if it's the right number or not, or based off speaking to the actual person? So Jonathan, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't track this and I don't have a perfect answer for this, but what we do is, when we skip trace through batch, we usually are getting, five or more phone numbers that come back. And so when we're cold calling, we're only using the first 3. Because what I found when looking at the percentages, it looks like, in my opinion, that the first 3 phone numbers are most likely the most accurate ones. So we just cold call the first 3 phone numbers when we get the list back. We don't call any of the further ones because we notice there's a lot more wrong numbers. Manuel, do you think door knocking is a good idea with coronavirus? I don't think it's a bad idea. It's if you want to wear a mask when you're out door knocking, great. I don't think it's a terrible idea though. We still have people doing it and they're getting deals. Off topic, but how does network marketing fall apart? Basically, company goes under. That's essentially how it happened. So I had like 2,000 distributors on my team, and then the company went away. So that is how. Me too, man, since 2015, just pivoted my whole model to investment focus and joined Sub 2. Mike, yeah, the wealth building model is doing wholesale, creative finance and all that. Like, because when you look at it, where do you build the real wealth in real estate? I think it's in owning the real estate. Like you can make great money wholesaling. Like we make good money wholesaling, but and you don't see it right now, but like we're buying a lot of rental properties, and it's like, we have all this money invested in properties that are giving us a few $100s a month, right? But it's over the time of building wealth and owning real estate. And so honestly, I think wholesale is the best wealth building strategy in any industry because you're actively looking for good deals. So we keep the good deals that we want from our business that we want to hold, or if we want to flip them, and we sell everything else. And it's not to say that we sell bad deals, but it's just like, okay, the property's an hour drive. I don't want to flip that because I don't want to have to, I don't want to have our crews drive to that side of town. So we'd rather wholesale it. So, those are some of the things that we look at. But, it's like if you get your wholesaling business to be successful, you could be taking chunks of equity and chunks towards wealth. Like if you look at a property, right? So like say you did like the regular BRRRR model. So for those of you that don't know, the BRRRR is like, it's where you buy a property for a good deal, you renovate the property, you get tenants in there to rent the property, and then you refinance into a long-term rental loan. And so if you look at it like an average deal, right? So like this is a deal we bought. I don't know why we didn't hold it, but we ended up wholesaling this one. But it was probably just because it was in Phoenix. I didn't really want one in Phoenix, but we bought a property, ARV, it's $250,000. So we bought it for $170,000, and it needed probably about 20 grand in work. So basically we'd be into it about 190,000 plus some holding costs and miscellaneous. So let's call it 195, right? So, and bear with me on the math, if it doesn't fully make sense, Google or watch YouTube video on, the BRRRR model. But essentially we have a property that is $250,000. We bought it for 170. We put $20,000 into the renovation. Now it's worth 250 because of the renovation we did. So now what we do is we go to a bank after we get tenants in there and the property stabilized. We refinance that for 75% of what it's worth. So let's take a look at that. So 75% of 250 is 187. So we go and refinance the property. Our new loan on this property is $187,500 on a property that's worth $250,000. And so obviously you notice we were into it for about 195, probably close after financing charges and everything, close to $200,000. So we're into the property, cash that's stuck in the deal, 12, 15 grand, right? So in a deal that we're $15,000 into, we have a loan that, that's in place. We'd be cash flowing on the property, and we're in a situation where property's worth $250,000. We owe $187,500. We have $62,000 in equity. So what you guys have to think about is don't just sell all of your deals. When you're in a position to start owning your deals, and obviously if you buy via subject to or seller carry, like there's tons of ways to do this. I'm just showing one method, right? This $62,000 in equity. How many times do you have to do that to put yourself in a situation where you don't have to work a job anymore? How many times do you have to do that to get properties? If you get 10, 15 properties over the next few years, like you have a net worth of over $1 million. You could decide to sell off some of the ones that you don't like as much, collect that money, roll it into more deals. I mean, this is why real estate's amazing. Like you have so many options, so many choices. All right, let's see what else we got. I do have to hop off in a couple minutes. I have a meeting at 10, guys. So trying to answer a couple more questions here. Hey, at least we started somewhere, or at least we finally found the right path to be on. And I don't want to hate too much on realtors. Some people love it and just, really enjoy it. I'm not a people person like that. I'm like numbers. That's why I love wholesale and creative, investing. It's either I plug the numbers in. Do they work? Yes. Perfect. We'll move forward. They don't work. No deal. Why I don't like traditional real estate, being a realtor, I don't like the kitchen, or I'm having second feelings about it because I feel emotionally torn from that's why I don't like dealing with, traditional transactions, because you're dealing with people's feelings, and it's like you're dealing with emotional creatures all the time. And I'd rather just deal with the facts are the facts. The numbers are the numbers, or they don't work, right? They either work or they don't work. Okay. I'm going to take a couple more questions. See what else we have here. While a couple more questions come through, I just want to give you guys a reminder, if you haven't already checked out the roadmap, rei.com. We are going to be continuously making updates to that. So, if you aren't already on there, make sure to, check it out. It's free. We are never going to charge for roadmaprei.com. It's just something that we're going to put together, essentially, what our business looks like, and make continuous updates to it. So that's what, what the reason we put it together. It's just kind of a place to send people to when they have questions, like people where do you get VAs, or what do you use for this, or how many acquisition people do you have? Check out roadmaprei.com, and on a monthly basis, we're working on updating it. So you'll see what we're doing in our business, and, what our wholesale operation looks like, and we'll continue making it better. Let's see. Hey, Sean, thank you. Thanks for hopping in. You always ask great questions, so I appreciate you too. Wait, where are we at? I'm going to try GoKnock. Yeah, GoKnock.com, 14-week free trial, or not 14-week, 14-day, 2-week free trial. Try it out. And if you're not in the GoKnock Facebook group too, some people are posting things that they're getting good results doing from it. So go to the GoKnock Facebook group as well. Daniel, we do not use REI Sift, so I just don't have a really good opinion on it. I try not to give an opinion unless I have some education on the topic. So unfortunately, I do not. First starting out, depends on your budget. If you have a budget, I would hire some VAs. I would pull some niche types of data like pre-foreclosures, inherited properties, vacant properties, lists like that, cold call, text them. Those are kind of the things that I would look at. We just do cold calling and texting. There's other people. Some people do mail and get results. Some people do Facebook ads. Some people do PPC, which is pay-per-click Google AdWords. But we do text and cold call. It's been our bread and butter. Suggestions on better conversions. You can get Steve Trang has a sales training that you can check out, that you can buy from him. John Martinez is another sales trainer in the industry that you can pay for some training from them as well. So there's some different types of sales training, but that's just going to be, you're going to have to hone in on your sales skills to get that better. The door knocking program, I don't know what you mean by that. But I don't know. Well, me and Matt Beard, we're working on putting together a little door knocking course. Again, free. It's just going to be, showing best practices for getting good results when you're door knocking. And if you're going to build a door knocking team, the reason it's free is because we have an app, Go Knock, that we want to pair that with. So we want people to get good results, right? Like we want people to get results with the Go Knock app. So we're trying to put together some training and coaching for people to get the best results possible. How long should we be calling every day on average to get 4 deals a month? I would say you're going to have to look at, what market are you in? It's hard to answer that specifically, but 4 deals a month, you're probably going to want to be getting 200 to 250 leads a month. Just a very general across the board average. The average person, takes about 50 leads to get a contract. So, if you're getting 200 to 250 leads a month, you're going to put yourself in a good position to, be getting to that 4 deals a month. So just look at how many leads you're getting and how do you get to that higher lead count. And then also work on your sales skills so that you can convert at a higher rate. So that's it, guys. I got to hop off because I have another meeting I got to get to. So appreciate you guys. If you're getting any value from this, again, please, you can follow me on Instagram if you're not already following me. We have multiple lives a week, and the creative financing with Pace Morby Facebook group. If you're not already in there, please make sure to join that Facebook group. And then what we're going to be doing is every week, I announced this at the beginning, but Mondays is wholesale hotline, 5 p.m. with 5 p.m. Mountain Time with Jameel Damji, Brent Daniels, Pace Morby, talking about wholesale deals, how to get more of them, answering your questions about wholesale deals. Tuesdays, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, Jeff Dwyer, our disposition manager and asset manager that helps manage our fix and flips, goes live at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays, Mountain Time. Wednesdays, 9 a.m. with myself. We're talking about marketing systems and then some other random stuff that you guys ask questions about that I'm happy to answer. Thursdays, Deal or No Deal, 9 a.m. with Pace Morby. He's talking about creative finance deals and answering your questions about creative finance deals. If you have one, he'll help you underwrite them as well. Fridays, closing off the week, Matt Beard talks about VAs and your best practices for having the best results with VAs. He has 16 VAs working for him on his team, so he knows a thing or two about getting great results with them. But that's it, guys. If you're getting value, please share on Instagram. Please invite your friends to the Facebook group. Subscribe to Pace's YouTube channel. Let us know if you have deals in Arizona or Florida. We are buying. Jeff Dwyer's contact is on here, or message me on Facebook if you can't find it. We do want to buy more deals in Arizona specifically. We need 2 to 3 more flips a month to our flow right now. So hit your boy up. We'll talk to you guys soon.